Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the technical hiccups. We had to cut there for a little bit of an emergency. But before we went away, I believe I was talking about if they put someone like AOC or Jasmine Crockett on the ticket, and you were saying something that she was in actually found to be in the pocket of APAC.
Right. So, and during our little time away, we were able to delve into that further. So it doesn't appear as though Jasmine Crockett has taken direct money from APAC, but she did enjoy a trip to Israel on the pocket of the American Israeli Education Foundation, which is a nonprofit arm of APAC. That trip cost just under $25,000. It was like 24,600 and something. So I'm just going to call it under $25,000.
25,000, yeah.
Yeah. So, and APAC has also promoted tweets or a tweet that she wrote. Uh, the tweet was conveying her agreement with Israeli independence. So that doesn't mean that she didn't support Palestinian independence, but it doesn't appear as though that she wrote a tweet about that and was blown up by Hamas and supported by whoever,
Right.
saying. So, yeah. Again, we've had this discussion. I think it's unfortunate for no matter what political party you're in, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, your mama's ninny. I don't care what it is. We shouldn't be taking money from Israel.
Big
We,
money, big corporations,
yeah,
and any of that stuff. I mean, that's
all of
that's
that.
the whole reason we
Yes.
need to enforce. I mean, they what a couple weeks back, the Supreme Court basically gave carte blanche to people to use however much money they want in campaign finances, and they
Well,
don't have to
right. A few years ago,
disclose.
we had Citizens United come,
Yeah,
and that gave corporations unlimited a way to put unlimited money into elections, and Elon
right.
Musk showed that,
So
right?
yeah, we shouldn't have any big money because you're not working for the corporations, you're working for the people. We out number the corporations millions times over. I don't know why the dollar amount matters because I mean you're already making a good chunk of change in your position. Regardless of what Mike Johnson says about your senators and your congresspeople can't live off of whatever a year you
Right.
can live more than enough
But the average person is expected to.
to do it for
Right.
8 to 10 times less.
Right.
you know but yeah, so I was actually just looking up like AOC and Ilhan Omar, and they both have been like, fuck no,
Right.
not taking any APAC money. So that's good.
Right.
So well, there's hope, and there's nothing to say that like completely divesting, the party itself divesting from Israel, you know, isn't in the future for someone like Crockett and others who have
Well, yeah,
taken.
but we have to. Well, Jasmine is now gone because her seat has been folded out of the gerrymandering. But
Right,
you got to get
exactly.
people like Chuck Schumer out of there.
Yep.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem
If you
Jeffries.
were to hold Hakeem Jeffries' hands in front of he wouldn't be able to talk because the only thing he can do is move and do this at the same time and then make up a sentence like a robot. Like, dude, such high hopes for him and then turned out to be, oh my God, what is it we're supposed to do? They control everything. You know what you do, Hakeem? You get out there and you march with the people. You get
Yeah.
out there and you stand with the people, but you can't do that because you are such a corporate Democrat that you don't even know how to relate to real people anymore. That's the
Yeah.
problem. AOC has still kept herself grounded, right? She was a college kid, she was a bartender, and we were
Yep.
supposed to shit on her for that. Isn't that what the
We
American
were,
dream is?
she got like a cheap suit for her first week in office, and
Right.
people were clowning her on that. And it's
Right.
like, she's not there. It's not a fucking fashion show, you
Look,
know?
she's who we want there, no?
Yeah.
She's the girl who pulled herself up by her bootstraps, came from
Right.
very little, was going to college and then got elected into the house. Are you kidding
Right.
me?
Working, going to college. I mean, like the thing that they say, but no, it's because she's a woman, she's a colored
Right. And
woman,
she's brown, right? Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it doesn't count, right?
They don't
your
like the
achievements mean nothing,
Ocasio-Cortez. They don't
right?
like that. Right. Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Sorry, we do accents here, people. We are politically incorrect. Yes, we are. We are politically incorrect people here.
well, I mean,
We are
we're
having
doing
candid
it.
conversations um, about what people think of the other. I think that's what you're getting here. You're actually getting to see what happens in a multiracial household and how we speak about the antics of the whites, because that's really what this comes down to. It comes down
Yeah,
to white people and being white adjacent to the privileged. And because that's what everybody wants to be for some reason. I don't get it. I don't
I mean,
understand it.
there's clear reasons systematically you got better
Well, yes,
chances.
systematically, but I'm saying
Yeah,
on just a human nature level, I don't get it. It's not something that I can understand, and maybe
they
it's
don't think
because
that
I'm
far.
white. I don't know. I know my life has been enriched because I've had the children that I've had and that I have the husband that I have, and I've always been open to everybody else. So I know that my life is better because of that. I know my life is better because when I joined the military, I chose to travel around the world and not stay sitting in my hometown.
Right.
I chose to see how other people live, how other people in other countries live. And we miss that here. We think that
Yeah.
we have everything solved, but we don't have everything solved. There are so many homeless people when we travel this country because, as you know, Jordan, your father and I are chicken. Your father and I travel. That was a flub and a fuck. Travel this country back and forth. And, well, it's not like it's going to be hard to figure out anyway. But, and we see, it's been overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that these politicians don't leave,
A
they
certain mileage up
saunter.
there. Yeah.
Right. They saunter from a cocktail party to a restaurant in downtown DC and then saunter back to a lobbyist, meeting that they have for this. They have no idea what's going on. Going to Las Vegas is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is
Travel your
not,
city at like 3 in the morning and look at a park, right?
you don't
If
even
you've got
have
a
to though.
park,
That's the thing that I'm
or
saying.
just any just downtown,
Yeah.
right? Just like
Yeah.
go to a place, right, where you feel uncomfortable and then go a little further. And
Right.
then you'll
Right.
see
Right.
what other people, and there's nothing, and it's not to down, being
Absolutely
homeless or
not.
anything, but it's like, yeah, you do. I mean, that's why people marched with MLK. That's why people followed Malcolm X and listened to people like James Baldwin, because they never forgot what it was to be at the bottom of the trash can,
And
right?
James Baldwin was so unapologetic in who he was,
Yeah,
which was fantastic.
didn't
Yeah.
care. So that's the big thing, that the obviously the Republican Party, they never cared, but the corporate Democrats, and the old style Democrats, the non-progressives aren't, either forget or never got. I mean, we're still going to rail against Pelosi. She's been in office for 40 years, one way or another. She's been doing this. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. You need, like, yeah, I'm going to get a little ageist. You need a little like fresh blood. You need more people in the median age of your country. And that's usually anywhere between your mid 20s to retirement age. You just need more people in that median age, not people who are like having AI generated or altered photos of them and their
Right.
wife in the hospital.
Right.
Mitch,
Right. Right.
Addison,
Right. No video. No video. Just a photo. Just a
you
photo
know,
and an empty, vacant smile.
everyone's saying that
Yeah.
they've had a nice crisp 20 minutes. They had a tight
I
20,
know. A tight
minute
20.
comedy set with Mitch,
A tight 20.
say that
Yeah.
he's okay. Um, they need to go. I mean, they put Lindsay's sister in office, not even cold in the ground, right? Hasn't even been in the
Never
ground.
done anything, never held any kind of, never, not, nothing. I mean, I do think, truthfully, I think it's a beautiful sentiment, right? They do it a lot of times for spouses. they end up disappointing the wife of someone or the husband of someone who's died, right? I think it's the precedent has been women have been appointed. Um,
Yeah.
so I do think that that is lovely and endearing, but we don't need endearing right now. We need things to happen for the country. We have hearings all the time. Nothing is getting better for the American public. Um, but they're having a hearing on it.
I mean, to back to John Stewart from earlier, from that same show that I watched, where because that's why I heard that Graham's sister got appointed to his position. There was another person who died in Texas. Um, I can't remember if it was a senator or whatnot. Looking it up now, but Greg Abbott was like, that seat's not going to be filled until November 2026. So not even having, so just leaving it fucking vacant, having a portion of your state unrepresented, no voice. I mean, we're
Well,
supposed to
that's what's
have
happening with Mitch, right? Because
representation, right?
Mitch is in rehab, right? So he's not representing Kentucky right now.
Yeah, we're supposed to not be unrepresented. A whole
And
thing
we're supposed to be
about,
okay with that.
yeah, you know, no taxation without representation, no
Yeah.
nothing, no laws or nothing without the voices like the populace. I don't, and Democrats just getting walked all over, and just allowing this to happen and not raising enough of the stink and not. That's the big thing is Gavin's got skeletons in his closet, but he's like the only one that goes toe to toe with these idiots all
He
day, every
does.
day,
But he's an apex
ready
shield
to fight.
too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's,
You
but
know,
we need some of that energy from, like
the
Isaiah
Democratic
Martin.
Socialists have that though. The
Yeah,
Democratic Socialists have
I
that.
was going to
They
say
do have that.
Isaiah Martin is
Yeah.
glorious. Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets calls from a bunch of these, you know, uh, sister humpers and cousin sleepers, and he's basically, why don't you cry about it, snowflake? You know, well, have you thought about leaving the country? Yeah, throwing
But
that same
yeah,
energy
energy.
back
Yes.
at them,
Yes.
beat them at their own game. Because if you want
But have you
anything
seen
done,
Abdul El Sayed? He's amazing.
yeah,
He is amazing.
yeah,
I mean, the way he was giving it to Cassie Hunt the other day, and that was just ridiculous. She kept asking him, does Israel have a right to exist? But no one ever asked if Palestinians have
Palestine,
the
yeah,
right to exist. And then, Scott Jennings is talking about that tight 20 with Mitch, and she never gives any pushback on it, except for, can you call into the show? Really? Can I see your phone? I want to see that you had that conversation. I want to see that phone call came in on your phone because you don't
I'm
have a
sure it
house
was
phone anymore.
recorded,
Yeah, right.
because this is
So,
all,
can you prove
work,
that?
right?
So this is the problem that the Democrats have is the same problem that the Republicans have. That we want term limits. The masses do. They say they're going
Yeah,
to do term limits, but then they have to get in
never
there and vote
gets,
to get themselves.
yeah,
It's the same thing with the trading of the stocks, but then we have to say that we're not going to become multimillionaires too. I mean, Daryl Issa, when he first came into the office, when Obama was first elected, his wealth increased like 200% in
right.
the first couple of years that he was in office. It was absolutely ridiculous. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she went
Oh,
into
that fucking
she
ditch
went
of a
into the
chin
house
woman.
worth less than $1 million and left
Yeah,
worth 25 million.
yeah,
Right. So it's all about self enrichment. So how are we supposed to get these people to vote against this? The only way you do that is by you bringing socialists in. You bring people
yeah,
in who have had the same thing. Bernie Sanders is not a multimillionaire. He does not have $10 million in the bank. He doesn't have $5 million in the bank. He has walked the walk and talked the talk his entire time in office.
yeah,
And those are the politicians that we need. Those are the ones that actually care about the working people. And Bernie's not there to make money for himself. Bernie could give a shit. Have you seen the haircut? He doesn't care, y'all. He doesn't
He's been
care.
rocking the Doc Brown since before Doc Brown.
Absolutely. Since he's been in office, Bernie
Yeah,
Sanders has looked the same. And yes, you don't want to rally too much against ageist because there are anomalies like Bernie
for
Sanders.
sure.
But
And we
Bernie
don't want to cut
Sanders,
out, the over retirement age people out of the equation completely.
no, but I don't want them in there serving the country because they
Yeah,
literally could lay down to go to sleep and not wake up the next morning. It's not about being
exactly.
ageist, it's about practicality.
Right.
You can still be, look, Bernie is the same age as Donald Trump and he's still
Yes.
progressive. But the
He's
difference
older.
between Bernie
He's
and
older,
Trump, yeah, I
actually,
think by a year or two.
by a
Um,
couple years, actually.
but you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't eat fucking McDonald's every
He's
day.
he's 84. Trump had just turned 79, correct?
Okay, so he doesn't eat
He's
that every
much
day. He's not
older.
eating KFC and McDonald's every day. He runs up the stair. Have you seen
Yep.
Bernie run up
He's
the
moving.
stairs? He's
You look at
moving.
his physique, like I'm not, he's giving like Dick Van Dyke a run for his money,
Absolutely. I mean,
right?
hey,
He's and
Dick
cognitively,
is
he's
awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
all there.
And he's
So
all there.
I mean, it's not to say that, hey, maybe, if there are term limits, it's not to say that like, hey, you can't get in if you've got the cognitive ability, if you can move, if you're with it, if you understand the grand scope of what needs to happen for Americans. It's nothing to say that you can't jump into office at 70 because maybe you've seen everything all through your life and now you're going, the same shit's still happening. Let
Yeah,
me
but you
get
know what?
in, right?
I want to publish
But
cognizant tests. I
no,
want
of
I
course.
want those. Yes, I want that
And if you
published.
can't pass, just auto like
It's
why
great.
isn't there a bill that auto like, hey, you don't pass this by a certain percentage,
Yeah.
you're not in,
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm saying to run. We're not even gonna get to the point where you get elected. I'm saying to just even be in the race,
And I think
you
that
know?
would, and truthfully, as time progresses and whatever magic these crazies decide to do with our DNA over
Right.
time, right? That's only going to expand exponentially. And then that would be revisited. But right now, where we're currently at, no. And if, we let AI eat us, then we're fucking doomed anyway.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, but yes, the roadmap is being laid out and built, you know, uh exponentially quickly, and is being built over the remnants of the old Democratic Party and
yes.
the new wave of progressives and even independents and whatnot are steamrolling them, and they need to get off untie themselves from the tracks and hop on the caboose. Otherwise, you're getting run over. And you
It's the
will
old way of
be,
thinking. We need to evolve. We need to change.
yeah,
Change is constant, right?
you will be voted out. People will exercise their right. You know, they're gonna come with the same energy against you that they do against the rape Republicans.
Yep.
So
And the Democrats need to remember too, you got to get rid of the data centers. They're
that's the
all
big one.
going
Yeah.
against the data center.
You will get a lot of conservatives on your side, these rural conservatives, if you take out these data centers. And then you can get them, then you can start to win them over and start to um, bring back the ideas and the notions about, like I said before, the wind turbines and the renewable energy in those open lands. They'll be more amenable to that. Give some kickbacks or something. We've got the money. If we take any of the money, God forbid, we take the
Geothermal,
House and the
colder climates, right?
right. God
Geothermal,
forbid
yeah.
we take the Democrats take the House and the Senate, again, and have the wherewithal to do any of this. But hey, take take a large amount out of defense spending. We don't need it. And don't come at me saying that I don't support the troops. One, I don't. Let's just I don't, because the military is all types of unnecessary, especially in the day and age. But when you're
I
fighting for a
support the
country,
troops. I just don't support the industrial complex. That's my thing because
sure,
people are, yeah.
you know, but the thing as the whole is like we can take from things like defense spending. We've hit the point where any one missile decides the fate of the world. We do not need a huge military budget. Stop taking from education. Stop letting people take from education, infrastructure, transportation. Tell these Republicans to fuck off. You know, uh,
Yes, because if the lottery money actually went to education in this nation, like it says it does,
mhm.
we would have the most educated children anywhere. But here we decide who are going to be the winners and who are going to be the losers. And we like to dangle these magnet school carrots so that we can just identify certain little brown children that can be, that can be educated. But we're choosing again which ones we find who qualify for what we say they need to do, right?
I mean, we were talking about something the other day about you know, a horror house and thinking, oh, actually, no. I was actually watching, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Monty Matter,
What is it?
Montemer.
Mm-mm.
She is former evangelical, probably from, I think it was relatively recently, like the past 8, 10 years, she's gone, away from the church, but she grew up heavily like white nationalist evangelical and is
Okay.
talking about, you know, um, looking back and understanding what she was seeing around her through her modern lens about um, people in the church picking the smart girl because she was smart, but she was just manipulated enough. She was young enough to be manipulated to further their own goals. So that's
Right.
what, yeah, they're looking for these token people who are smart, but not too smart. They're malleable. They can be molded. We can turn you into a Clarence Thomas. We can turn you into what's the black dude that looks like he's just a painted over white guy? What is his name? It's not Jesse Waters, it's something. Forget his name. Um,
Oh, Harold. Harold. Oh, it's right there.
you know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're
It
talking about. Yeah.
escapes me. It doesn't help for anybody listening, but
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
find your nearest shuckin' and jiver who is in the political space and insert them here. That's who they're looking for. And you've seen them before. Maybe they're the rare like black police captain. We talked about Eric Adams earlier, right? To try to deflect from the racial angle. To your point earlier, we're here to call it out, plain and simple,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
These things, we're not going to entertain uh, this plausible deniability about and this double speak
No.
about how, oh, uh we're not writing out this district just because it has black people. We're writing it out just to give us more political seats. Like,
Right.
we're here to talk candidly about what we
Yeah.
really know, you know, and all of this, if we stopped like pussyfooting around and stopped dancing around and being afraid to call someone racist, and or the person being called racist trying to prove they're not a racist through whatever means and think that there's some holier than thou and some of their high horse to be like the audacity that you would call me a racist. If we were just straight talking people, all of this would be violations of civil rights, and a bunch more people would be paying out dividends because it's bullshit. And while it is the Republicans spearheading all of this, the Democrats have one way or another either allowed or even helped them to be able to do this by being spineless and
Absolutely.
not dealing with like
Absolutely.
filibusters and shit like that. Or I
Not
mean,
pushing back when Barack Obama was first elected.
it took this uh year for us to for Democrats to have the backbone to gerrymander equal and
Right.
opposite,
Right.
and then for it to get shut down in a bunch of places
Oh,
because
of
like, oh
course.
well, Republicans do that but Democrats can't. Why aren't y'all making an uproar? Why aren't you banging the on that judge's house, those judges' house that are saying that, hey, you can't do this? Why aren't you that this is where it comes in where you have to march with the people. You have to be down there. You have to be at the BLM protests, the anti-Israel, free Palestine protests, right? You have to
You have to go to the
sit there.
5150 protests. You have to go to the No Kings protests.
You have to
You
go to
have
the
to do
anti-ICE
all of those.
protests,
Yeah.
right? I mean, ICE is fucking killing people. They killed
Yeah.
someone else Fourth of July weekend.
I know. I know. A
You
man and
can't.
his little girl in her bluey pajamas, right?
Yeah,
3 years old. He's 20 something years old.
saying
And he
please
was
don't kill
murdered.
me.
It's
His last words were
heartbreaking.
please don't kill me.
Heartbreaking, right?
You can't
Murray, what? Well,
sit
Renee's Good's last words were, I'm not mad at you. I
mad
don't
at you,
hate you.
bro. Alex Preddy's was him asking the
A
woman
woman, if she
that they
was
had
okay.
shoved if she was okay.
Right. These are the
You
monsters that we've become. We've let racism, and yes, this is because the Democrats are just as racist as
yes,
they just hide it better. But they have the lack of action that they've taken has proven that they're comfortable with a certain level of it because again, this is not affecting them. It is only affecting the people down at the bottom. And see, I think that's the difference because the Democratic Socialists, they see the role that racism plays in our
yeah,
everyday. They see the role that racism still continues to play in our institutions. And the funniest thing I have found about the DEI situation, we'll just throw this in here a little bit because we're talking about the racism in the parties, is
mhm,
white men have been more affected by DEI than they initially thought they would because we come to find out that white men were getting entered into these Ivy League schools, these collegiate schools,
yep,
because they were falling in under DEI because they were the diversity, the equity, and the inclusion that was needed because the women and the brown people were scoring higher than they were. So, why do we continue to play this bullshit game?
right.
This
Call a
is
spade a
about
spade.
money. It's about
Call a spade a
money.
spade.
And they
Yeah,
divide us using any means necessary. And the easiest way to get under a white person's craw is to let them think that a black person has something more than they have.
right. Or has anything at all. Not even more than
Because
them
for
to have
some
anything at
reason,
all.
I should have wanted less for my children and for my husband because you guys have a different skin tone than I do.
Right,
Are you fucking kidding me? I wanted the same for my family that every other white person in this nation wants for their family.
right. The
And
things you
that's
didn't want were hard conversations about interacting with
right,
police,
right,
right?
right,
Uh, Going off, be aware of your surroundings. I
right,
mean, we've kind of
right,
trailed off of the Democratic angle, but we talked about Nolan Wells. I
right.
gave you that video about Nolan Wells.
Oh, we're
Also
gonna talk about
disappeared.
Nolan though.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
disappeared again on Fourth of July. He was the only black person in his group of friends. I mean, we
And they
didn't want to have
disappeared his
to.
phone with him. Ha ha ha. They had
Yeah,
his phone, but he disappeared, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
nothing to see here, right? Nothing to see here.
you know, you didn't want to have those conversations, but you knew you had to have those conversations, and that's why you
But these are
know
conversations that white people don't even
don't have.
realize happen.
Yeah,
They don't have them, and they don't realize
they
that
even
people who
exist.
have black children, who have minority children, have to have these conversations with their kids in order to keep their kids safe because some fucking asshole is going to say that my 11-year-old son should have known better about something because he wasn't allowed to be a child,
Right,
right? It's ridiculous.
and that's how we know that it all comes back to racism, and the Democrats have been sitting on that. They have been what's the old adage, you put a bunch of frogs in a pot and instead of blasting the heat, you turn it up slowly,
Yep.
and
You let it
they'll just
simmer.
let it, then they'll just cook themselves.
Yep.
The Democratic Socialists are like, no, fuck the pot. get out of there,
Yep.
get
Yep.
back into your environment, get be a community. I mean, like,
Yep.
I don't want to get on, I don't necessarily believe like all the hippie shit of like, all we need love and whatnot, because we need action and we need things to have people better
We
life. But
need
it would help.
compassion, though.
It would help, yes, for sure, to
We
have
need
love and
compassion. We
compassion,
need
and
empathy. Yeah.
to look at, because yeah, none of these uh the Democrats that aren't on board don't know what it is to see like the same homeless person and build like a rapport outside of the 7-Eleven when you're, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old in Virginia, right?
Oh, I
They
remember.
don't, yeah, they don't understand that, like, walking downtown Sarasota and I'm seeing a dude laying on a cardboard bed, you know, I've been to California. Yeah, you know what? The homelessness is crazy out there. And yes, there's a bunch of crazy homeless people who are getting in fights over turf and they take over sidewalks. It's inconvenient, blah, blah, blah. But people have put them there. They didn't ask for this. Most of them, it's the lie about drugs and stuff. Getting them there is more often than not the truth. They got there through the allowance that by the like the country leaving them behind, by Democrats, like Republicans and Democrats
Everybody
leaving
leaving them
them
behind.
behind,
Yep. Yep.
and forgetting about them and not accounting for people at the bottom. And if you take out the bottom, someone's got to fill up the bottom. Someone new's got to fill up the
Absolutely.
bottom. And
Absolutely.
so, and things with inflation, all that stuff, the bottom line just keeps raising and raising, and more people are going into the void, and more people have to fill up that bottom. And so that's the big thing that you've always said is not just the poor whites, but the Democrats have just left, the middle class too, not just the impoverished, but the middle class behind. I mean, every day the middle class is shrinking because prices are rising up. No one can get ahead. No one can save for anything because you still got to buy the same stuff you got to buy, whether it's just for you or for your family. Um, and when you are forgotten about, that's when you start looking to the other side. And when the other side starts to say things that you've been thinking, even people like us who know it's a lie and know that you're being fleeced and grifted on, they're like, well, this wasn't working, so I have to do something for me. So it's
Right.
understandable. I don't
Right.
agree with it because a bunch of the people were just itching to
Well,
be bigots and prejudices, but it's an understandable position to be at.
well, I would think for me, I think that you would do something like I did. Like, so I'm a Bernie bro, right? Hillary was never going to win Florida. So I was comfortable voting for Bernie Sanders because I was not going to vote for Hillary
Yeah,
because of how the Democratic Party treated Bernie, how all of the people who got behind Hillary treated Bernie when Hillary was
yep,
not there on abortion. She had just gotten there. She was not there on gay people. In the 90s, she called little black children super predators. So
right.
there's no fucking way I was voting for this woman. I voted for the old guy, the curmudgeon with the mittens. That's who I voted for. I
Yeah, I
wrote
mean,
in
that was
Bernie
10 years
Sanders.
ago. So he was 74 and he still
You
had it
know,
then. He still has it now. So, like,
exactly. I voted for him. He was my protest vote. I wasn't going to the other side, but that's where you see the crossover
right.
because there were a lot of people that were behind Bernie Sanders. Well, Donald Trump took a lot of those people because he lied to them and said that he was going to give them health care too. And
Yep.
then he never came up because we still, 10 years later, have concepts of a plan.
2 weeks away.
So it's 2 weeks away. So that's where I'm at. So
Yeah.
socialism is on the rise. The poor whites do want it. They just don't want the poor blacks and the poor Mexicans and the poor Haitians and the poor Africans to get
You
it
you
along with
call it
them.
something different, and I
Yeah.
guarantee they'll be down for
So,
it.
all right. That's it for this session. We're out.
Thanks for
Have
listening.
a good one. Peace.